Hello, my name is Kari Sabatella, and I want to talk to you about why consulting with a music therapist can be beneficial to students. Um, I believe all students can learn, and with the right support, they're going to thrive. And so, working with a music therapist gives you the tools and knowledge you need to help your students thrive, just like a plant getting exactly the light and water that they need to thrive. I work at Carson Elementary School in Denver Public Schools, and this year, during the pandemic, we had the opportunity through a grant to work with a music therapist. I was lucky enough to get to work with Kristin Sjoberg, a board-certified music therapist, and internship director at Rehabilitative Rhythms. And I'm so glad I had the chance to work with her because now I have a much deeper understanding of the challenges and the strengths that my students may have. And I learned about different ways to make learning more accessible for my students with disabilities. And I believe it was really beneficial because it helped students have a better chance of engaging with the content and making it their own. Consulting with a music therapist can give teachers tools. A lot of us start out with an empty toolbox. For example, I graduated in 1994 from my training program to be a music teacher. And this was shortly after the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act was passed. And so that meant that many of my professors did not have experience working with exceptional students. So I went into my career with a pretty empty toolbox. But over the years, through my career, I picked up some tools along the way through talking with students, meeting with specialists in the building, and working with classroom teachers and parents. So I cared, I wanted my students to thrive, but I didn't have a complete toolbox. So working with the music therapist really helped me to organize my tools that I had, and it gave me some new tools, and it showed me how to use them so that students would get the best benefit from the accommodations we were making. So in a nutshell, working with a music therapist really gave me a new awareness and new tools to use. It filled the gaps that I had in my training, and it provided research-backed rationale for the accommodations that were suggested. It really showed a model for therapeutic and supportive teaching techniques that I was able to integrate into sensory skills and techniques into my lessons so that the students were in a more welcoming environment. It gave them more accessibility to the content. For example, I used to use an egg shaker with my deaf and hard of hearing students, thinking that would help them feel the beat. But through my music therapist, I came to find out that it wasn't in a decibel range that was easy for them to perceive. So now I use a bossa shaker, which is a little bit larger and has a decibel range and frequency that's easier for students who are deaf or hard of hearing. It's easier for them to perceive. I also gained a new understanding of how to integrate what I am saying to students for accessibility. For example, I used to say, put your hands, if you're deaf or hard of hearing, put your hands on the speakers to feel the vibration. And just by saying, if you're deaf or hard of hearing, that kind of singled out those students. So now I would say, everybody try this. And that really helped to change up the feel of the lesson that was turned into a more inclusive strategy and create a more welcoming environment. So I would recommend that any teacher, if given the chance, should work with a music therapist. They have a unique perspective on what students' sensory issues might be. And so if you have students who are exceptional and have special needs, your music therapist can help you to understand some ways to reach them so that they can access the content more easily. And I believe it could really be used across any setting for any content. And so I hope that you'll take advantage of this. It helps you have the tools you need to help students thrive no matter who they are or what their needs are. Thank you so much for watching this video. Here's my information. If you have any questions, I welcome you to reach out to me, and I would love to touch base with you.